Klay Thompson, Golden State Warriors just returned to the court after 2.5 years off of Achilles and an ACL injury, bro. The electricity in that arena at Chase Center in Golden State was electrifying on his comeback against Cleveland. How do you think Klay has looked at these first 3 games back in the NBA?
You know me, man. You know me. I'm always an honest guy. I'm a straight shooter. Obviously, he's not the Klay that I remember back in, 19, 17, 15. Now, when I say that, a lot of people may take that like, what are you about to say, Rick? What I'm saying is he's not crispy Klay. I used to call him crispy Klay back then when they were facing the Cleveland Cavaliers for 5 years straight. He was a little bit quicker, a little bit more agile. That lift off the shot was a little bit faster, almost in comparison to Ray Allen a little bit back in the day. Like, you could tell, like, those injuries really slowed him down a little bit. Now he's good. So let me say that before people start snapping at me. My man balling, he still helps the team. He still contributes to the team, but he doesn't look like his old self, which I know 2 things play a factor in that: his injuries and his age, because again, those are years ago. So he's getting older. My man came back with the Moses swag, had the afro, came in January 9th against Cleveland. 96-82, they won that game. They also got Klay on this 20-minute restriction right now. They don't want him, looking like KD pretty much last night. They don't want to overplay him. He's one of the most valuable assets. People forget he is part of the Splash Brothers, which is him and Steph Curry. So they kind of want to restrict his minutes. But I'm going to give him his props. This is how you know he may not be as athletic and crispy, BJ, but my man is fundamentally sound, because here's what I'm getting at. My man came back 17 points in 19 minutes and 55 seconds. Do you know how efficient you are? Do you know how fundamental you have to be that tight with the minutes and your points at the same time? On top of that, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 7 for 18, 38%, 3 for 8, 37%. I wasn't expecting him to even get 17 points, to be honest with you, on his first night back. But that to me, that goes to show when he starts getting in that NBA rhythm again, my man gonna start tearing stuff up. And then, of course, when they played against the Grizzlies January 11th, 108-116, Golden State lost by 8. But wait, 14 points in under 20 minutes. I mean, I look at it like this. I project. You do 40 minutes, that doubles, 28 points, 30 points. So my man looking good. I just don't think he crispy Klay no more, but he's still nice out there. What you think?
Hey, man, let me kind of, unpack a few things. First off, the injury, yes, it's with Klay Thompson. First of all, like with a person like me, I've torn my Achilles, both of them. Automatically, just being truthful, you lose a step with that Achilles injury. You definitely lose that, explosiveness before you had it. Let's get that out the way. Then you tear your ACL. That's a whole nother, situation. You tear another part of your leg on the other side. So the amount of training that Klay had to do just to get back on the court must have been like strenuous for 2.5 years. Who knows what he went through mentally. So it was good seeing him back on the court. Now, as far as his performance against, these 3 teams, Cleveland, yes, he did have a good game. I think, you said 17 points. And then he had 14 against Memphis. And then he played against Milwaukee. They got blew out. So
yeah, they got blew out.
So it didn't really matter how many points he had. But his first 2 games, he looked, pretty solid, against Cleveland. They tried to get him the ball very early. You know what I'm saying? They tried to get him shots as much as possible. He wasn't really hitting. His rhythm more so was off than anything. And that kind of is expected the first being out for 2.5 years. His conditioning, of course, they're keeping limited minutes. I think at 20 minutes a game so far, which is understandable. So all those things are going to come gradually. I think nobody expects Klay to have like 22, 23. So he's definitely not who he, was, when he got hurt. So that's going to take some time. But as far as, what I'm looking at right now, I think he's on schedule. I think he's just happy to be back on the court. He's thankful for a new appreciation because he's 31 right now, I believe. So, he's missed 2.5 years. So he ain't played since he was like 28 years old. So those usually are your prime years, 28 to about 32, 33. That's your prime. So when you're not playing at those times, like you're missing out. So now he has to kind of maximize what he has missed to get back to where he was or close to as much as possible. And that goes to my next question, bro. How do you feel Klay coming back throughout, from here on out is going to impact? Do you see Klay getting close to what he was? Do you think his teammates like Jordan Poole, Otto Porter, Gary Payton Jr., guys like that who's on the squad going to be a little bit more, I don't know if you want to say take a step back, but they're going to have to try to find a new role? Or what do you feel Klay's, impact's going to have, positive and negative?
Well, in my honest opinion, man, all positive. Simply because you got to think, first of all, you're playing with the most unselfish superstar of all time in NBA history, which is Steph Curry. Secondly, you also got to think that Steve Kerr is one of the greatest coaches when it comes to implementing new players, old players, players who come out the G League, just got drafted. This man knows how to run an offense, and he knows how to spread that court. So his system alone can pretty much take anybody out, put anybody in at any time, and the machine is still work efficiently against the other team. So when you talk about Klay Thompson, I mean, to me, I think far as the newer guys that are playing like Poole and Otto and all these guys, and then you think about people like Klay, you got to think, I feel like it makes the team better because not only do you have this player who's been there basically since beginning with Steph Curry, but these guys won championships together. So now you got Green, you got Klay, and you got Curry. You got championship pedigree, playoff pedigree. So these three wise men, as I call them the three wise men, y'all. The three wise men, and then you got all these young guys that are really good and very promising in potential. And you put that together with Steve Kerr's mindset and that offensive ability he plays out there, bro, that's a monster. I only see them getting better, and better. And honestly, I feel like Klay has that respect. I feel like he has that, you know how you a freshman and you look at the seniors and the juniors is like, oh man, I want to be like that one day. I feel like he has that kind of respect. So I feel like all in all, man, it's just gonna help the team, dramatically, bro, in a very positive way. But what you think?
So I agree and I disagree. So let me tell you why I agree. You are playing with the most unselfish team in NBA. Well, one of the unselfish teams in NBA history as far as offensive system wise. So that's not an issue. They're going to get shots. Like Klay's going to get his shots. But what I disagree is look at the success like guys like Wiggins and Jordan Poole had without Klay being there. So of course, they're going to get less shots with Klay Thompson. They're deservingly so because Klay Thompson's a proven, star in this league and they've won championships together. So he deserves those shots. So I believe that they're going to, their performance is going to drop a little bit, Jordan Poole and Wiggins. And I feel like Wiggins is the type of person, like, if you don't put him in like a position for him to, score the ball, he's going to be limited. And I feel like his confidence can be a little bit shattered. Not to say that he hasn't, been productive, but I think with his playing style and what he is, you can find him like sometimes like, where's Wiggins at tonight? Like he had like 5-6 points, and then you'll start seeing his, confidence going down. Jordan Poole, he's a most improved player candidate this season, early off in the year, but he's kind of, dropped down a little bit, his point production. Now, I don't think they'll be the type to be pouting because I think Golden State is they're such a positive group, and you got a bunch of guys that like each other so much that it's not going to impact them off the court. But I think on the court, it's going to be like, sometimes like, how do we get these guys more shots? That's why I think Steve Kerr is going to be looking at down the line with this team. So I agree with you, but then I like, on the court, I think they're going to have to figure some things out. You got anything else to say about that, bro?
Absolutely do. I don't know, BJ. Okay, let me take this step by step. You're absolutely right when it comes to player production declining with Wiggins, with Poole, because yes, Klay Thompson was hurt. He wasn't there. So of course, Steve Kerr and the coaching staff had to make moves to where they can optimize their team with the pieces that they have. You gotta play the cards in the hands that you're dealt. I understand. But again, I think Steve Kerr and I also believe Steph Curry are literally the perfect marriage when it comes to the coach and player dynamic. And this is what I mean, people. Yes, what B Jizzle is saying, I'm not disagreeing with. Klay Thompson being back is going to affect some things in some positive and negative ways. But because you have Steve Kerr and Steph and that dynamic that they share, dude, I'm telling you, I can just see it. If Wiggins start tripping, I just see Steph like giving him more shots, or I see Steve Kerr putting him in a certain situation to where he can amplify his ability to score, play better defense. I feel like those two as coach and players really care about their teammates, really care about the other players and how they feel. I remember, and I forgot what game, and you can correct me, but I remember Thompson kind of yelled at Curry about something, and you saw Curry was just like, like, chill, bro. Like, it was cool. And then it's like not even like 5-6 minutes later, everything was cool. Like, I'm just saying, I feel like Curry and Kerr has that ability to adapt to you. Like, whatever you feeling, whatever you want to get off your chest, it's like they going to make sure you good. They're going to empathize with you. So I just feel like, you're right in the sense of it being, it can decline at any given time. But I just feel like, if Wiggins and Poole have a big issue, Kerr and Steph going to figure it out, man. That's just how I look at it.
Yeah, that's a good point, bro. Steph is the ultimate teammate. Steve Kerr's the ultimate coach, and they're definitely enablers. So I will give you that. So, and they got made, success with Draymond Green. So, you have a good point there. But